So the scene I'm going to read to you takes place towards the end of the novel. And I'm not going to ruin the ending for you because you all know the ending. You know Mexico lost half of its territory. So in this scene, the scene is between Santa Anna, who has gone down in history as the man who sold out his country, and my protagonist, Jimena, who was forced to be his personal nurse throughout the war. He came to her that evening, disguised as a street peddler, rain dripping from his sarape. He walked into the little house she'd moved into when she could no longer bear to be in the barracks without John. He hung his sarape on a hook by the door and then looked at her. His hair was disheveled, his face haggard. She had been praying at her altar, and before she got off her knees to see what he wanted, he stopped her. No se levante, he said. He limped to her side and removed his wooden leg, using it for support as he bent down to pray with her. He groaned at the pain, but knelt on the floor alongside her, lowering his head as his voice joined hers in prayer. When their throats eventually grew hoarse and dry, she helped him get up. He sat on the chair while she tended to his leg. It was inflamed, and the wound had opened again. She washed it clean. He sighed in relief as she applied her Arnica Mexicana salve, massaging it into his skin. Why have you come? She asked him as she finished dressing his wound. To take you with me, he said. I depart at midnight. My council of war has decided to vacate the city. I'm withdrawing my troops to Guadalupe Hidalgo. You're abandoning us? You're allowing the Yankees to take possession of the capital? For now, until I replenish my troops, until I figure out a new strategy to restore our country's liberty and honor. You've lost. There's no strategy that will change that. You have been defeated. He hung his head and fixed his gaze upon the floor, and then very quietly at first, he began to cry. As his sobs grew louder, she looked away, not wanting to witness the president of the República Mexicana bawling like a spring calf separated from its mother. She wouldn't comfort him nor join her sorrow to his. Instead, she grabbed the bottle of mezcal she used for healing and poured him and herself a shot. Was it true? She asked him as she handed the drink to him. He took the mezcal and downed it, then held out the earthen cup for another. When he asked for a third shot, she refused. He looked at her and nodded, finally admitting what she had always known in her heart. All this time, the rumors were true? She served herself another shot and sat down. He took out a handkerchief from his pocket and wiped his eyes dry. While I was in Cuba, living in exile, I dispatched my friend, Colonel Alejandro Atocha, to pay President Polk the visit and bargain with him on my behalf, he said. In exchange for $30 million, Santa Anna had promised to give Polk the territory he wanted, but he insisted that Polk attack Mexico first so that it looked as if it was by force. It was crucial for the Mexican people to believe that their government had no other choice but to negotiate with the Yankees. I was the one who told Polk how to attack us, he said. I told him that the Mexican people would never yield unless forced to do so. I provided him with a plan of attack, to send his forces to our northern frontier, to send a naval expedition to Veracruz and take advantage of our scarcity of ships to guard the coast. I promised him that if he helped me return from exile and establish myself firmly in power, I would convince our government to make peace with the United States and give him what he asked for, the Rio Bravo boundary, Alta California, Nuevo Mexico. This was your plan all along then, to sell us out? You were defeated on purpose? You sacrificed John and the San Patricios? No! He grabbed her hands, and when she tried to pull them away, he squeezed them harder, pleading, Listen to me, Jimena. I lied to the Yankee president. I never intended to despoil our country. I just wanted him to help me return from exile. My country needed me to save them, to have faith in me again. You understand? The minute I returned, I placed myself at the head of our army and spent every waking breath trying to restore Mexico's honor. I betrayed my agreement with Polk. Don't you see? He said, kissing her hands. He laughed smugly and said, I fooled him. That land-grabbing Yankee believed me and restored me to power, whereupon I dedicated myself to make him understand that I would never consent to despoil Mexico of her northern territories. Jimena, querida, trust me when I say that I didn't take my troops, I didn't take Riley and his men into the battlefield to lose. I meant to win. I meant to bring victory to Mexico. I meant to give us all a little taste of glory.